Welcome to Dreams from the Deccan, where we'll look at remarkable business achievers from the southern states. Running hospitals is a tough business in India. There's land to be acquired, infrastructure to be set up, and permissions to be obtained. It's a field that requires guts and deep pockets. No wonder private healthcare in India is dominated by either big hospital chains or super specialty centers. But one man saw things differently. Dr. A M Arun started out with a little clinic in Trichy. His company now runs nearly 150 daycare hospitals, all thanks to a willingness to explore a completely different business model. Here's the story of A M Arun and his company, Vasan Healthcare. You could accuse A M Arun of being farsighted. After all, it does take vision to go from one clinic in 2001 to 150 a decade later. The key to his success was a strong focus on eye care. Today, Vasan Eye Care centers see scores of patients coming in from everything from cataract treatments to getting a new pair of glasses.
You've done your MBBS, but you're not an ophthalmologist, and your father and grandfather operated pharmacy stores. So tell me, what made you choose eye care as a focus for Vasan?
In your lifetime, you will not go to a gastroenterologist or a neurologist. But every single citizen of this country has to go to ophthalmologist. People are 1.2 billion population. Huge demand is huge. You can't recall a single large provider in eye care who's almost present in all the locations. So this can really work if somebody can do a good beginning. So that was the first hospital we started in Trichy as a single eye hospital in 2002.
You went from one clinic in 2002 to something like 118 today. So what's the hurry, really? And do you think you can handle this blistering pace? Is there a fear that you could be overstretching yourself?
The model which we chose as a daycare model was able to ramp up so quickly after a particular time. Right. Once we had the confidence of the doctors, and in healthcare, if your model is right, you have the right people. That is where the core thing in healthcare is people who deliver. I don't think nothing is overstretching.
The Vasan business model didn't appear all of a sudden. Instead, it evolved over time. Arun first tried out the usual multi-specialty clinic, but the results weren't terribly impressive. He finally zeroed in on eye care. There was great demand for it, and patients could go home the same day, so no beds were needed.
This is a very unique model, which is very capital light. Capital is one area, easily scalable, replicable, and a model is simple. You have a local doctor on board, do a proper infrastructure, good equipments.
There's another factor that sets Vasan Eye Care apart. While big hospitals usually crop up in big cities, Vasan's daycare centers thrive in small towns, despite the challenges of setting up shop in such places.
If you take a lot of Tier 2 towns and Tier 3 towns from this country, the per capita income is as good as what you see in the metros. People spend in the Tier 2 and Tier 3 towns. What I always believed, the building your brand, getting visibility in smaller places are easier. Also, convincing people, getting them on board, even if you are like a practicing doctor, the smaller towns are easier.
Vasan expanded slowly until recently. The company had just 18 eye care hospitals in 2008, most of which were local practices it had acquired. But then the private equity firm Sequoia Capital pumped in a total of $50 million in 3 phases, and growth was simply explosive.
You attracted some $50 million in private equity investment, and you've said there's investor interest in a second round of funding. So what do you think makes you interesting to these investors?
The primary agenda for the investors, if you take, for them to put any investment on the agenda for doing their business, first thing, the model, the business should get them valuation. That is the reason you should be aware It's a very calculated industry where you should have very cautiously put money in companies. So because some might do well, some might not do well, and it's equity. Always people believe on the model. So they first see the model of the business. What is the model? Is it scalable? That this can create valuation. Third thing, whether the promoter is credible to run the business, and what is his capacity. I strongly feel our model, what they believe can do well.
A M Arun is now looking beyond eye care. Vasan is already getting into dentistry, and it plans to venture into other daycare specialties like diabetology and fertility treatment.
What's your next big milestone and your long-term goal?
Next 10 years, we don't want to diversify except healthcare. We want to excel in all the daycare specialties. Maybe IVF, philology, skincare. But many procedures in gastroenterology and orthopedics can be done in daycare. Ours should be a position as a daycare company. It's all verticals. When we can build 50 hospitals in 1 year, we can be the McDonald's of healthcare in the world.
A tip or two for entrepreneurs who are just starting out?
In the initial phases, the risk, the ability to take risk, which always pays you. It might pay or might not. The risk has to be involved. Now you manage your risk. That is very, very important. I was telling, I'm a very positive person, but you also look at what is going to be the worst. Everything goes bad, what is going to happen? The risk-taking ability, the focus which you're going to have. You should not try to do 10 things. I always tell people, if you try to do 10 things, you won't do anything properly. Nothing will work. Choose 2 things, do one properly.
Focus, innovation, and ambition have helped Vasan Healthcare grow into an impressive hospital chain with branches all across India. And its unique business model could set an example for others in a nation of 1.2 billion people eager for more healthcare services. And that's it for this episode of Dreams from the Deccan. Thanks for watching.